ass hotel has decided that they want to host the most hateful group in this country in one of the gayest cities in the country. And we're like, hell no. And just in case you don't know what group I'm talking about, we're talking about Moms for Liberty. Who basically stand for anything but liberty.
Oh God.
Well, their liberty. And they're not smart enough to realize that they're giving up their liberty by pushing the rich white man's agenda. You gotta get it. Right? It's no coincidence that all of a sudden, after these idiots get handed pretty much a loss in a midterm election, that we go from what, like 50 or 60 anti-trans bills around the country to over 500 already this year? This isn't a coincidence. These people are being played by a whole freaking political party and they don't even get it. They're just using them to keep us divided so that we don't come together and vote these assholes out of office.
That's right.
That's right.
And so this week we thought that we would educate people on just what Moms for Liberty is about, why Marriott should not be hosting this group, and also update people on just what their plans are for our city at the end of the month. And we gotta remind them, Pride might be a celebration now, but Pride started as a riot. Pride started because the LGBTQ community said we will no longer hide in the shadows. We said we're gonna live our life and be treated just as equally as everybody else, and if we can't have that, we're gonna burn this bitch down. And here it is, almost 70 years later, and we're gonna have to remind them that we are not going back. We deserve to be seen, we deserve to be visible, and we deserve to live our life every bit as happy as any cis heterosexual couple out here. So with that said, my name is Jasmine Henderson. I'm with ACT UP Philadelphia in the Black and Latinx Community Control. And we appreciate each and every one of you beautiful souls for coming out here. And this is not just us doing this, like this action came together and it's happening because a bunch of people got wind that Moms for Liberty was coming. And none of us was pleased about it. So you got people from the Philly Children Movement out here. The Philly librarians are out here. We got YCL out here. Red Rabbits. Like, people are coming together, which is the exact thing that they didn't want. But the more they push, the more we'll push back. Now, a wise man said to me lately that we can't keep resisting. Because if we resist, they'll persist. Right?
Right.
So this ain't about resisting. This is about liberation. This is about education. This is about us making sure that they understand that regardless of what you think about me or my community, we are here, we're not going anywhere, and you're not gonna scare us into it. Yeah, so I didn't have much more prepared before that. But certain folks are running late, so I'm kind of making this up as I go along right now. Please work with me. And if there's anybody who would like to say something, please feel free to come forward. All voices should be heard.
Hi, I'm Prentice. One of the things that I think should be made very clear is that acceptance is not necessary. Neither is understanding. Respect is the bare minimum that we deserve.
Yes.
You don't have to understand where I come from. You don't have to accept what I believe, but you do have to respect my humanity.
Yes.
And that's what's being treaded upon right now. What's happening is we're being divided, we're being confused, we're being lied to, and places like this make money on that. What we're really here to stand against is not so much mothers against liberty, moms against liberty. Okay. Yeah. Exactly. While he calls us tripping, the people in there hate him just as much as they hate us. Now, with that said, there's an example of what this precipitates. There's an example of what is happening and what will happen if we don't stay vigilant and if we don't stop resisting and start protesting and being of our own voice and of our own strength and of our own liberty and realizing how much strength we do have. They chased our dollars so hard and then they forgot how much those dollars were worth. It's Gay Pride in June. Anybody with an L, a G, a T, a B, a Q, an I, an A in their name or in their identity should not spend another dime in this building. They forget who makes these buildings pretty. They forget who paints the murals. They forget who adds the music, the art, the entertainment to all of these things. And we have the power to shut it all down.
Sorry, I just had a thought and then it slipped away, and it was really good. So I don't want to start talking about something else and then it don't come back. I feel, you know who I feel for? I feel for the people who have to work here. Right? Not for the owners, because them fuckers get paid regardless. But when Nikhil Saval, who's a state senator, and 2 other of our state representatives found out that Moms for Liberty was coming, they wrote the Marriott and asked them to not host them. And what was they thinking to have such a hateful group in the city? So the Marriott responded to them. And they basically said, and I don't know the whole thing by heart, but the part that stuck out was, we believe in providing a safe environment for our workers, our guests, and anybody who comes to our facilities. I can promise you, at least half of their staff is LGBTQ. Promise you that. And the staff that ain't LGBTQ is black. And Moms for Liberty has an anti-LGBTQ stance and an anti-black stance.
So who's safe?
So what employees are they looking out for? Right? And if they're not going to take the safety and the well-being, both mental and physical, of their employees into mind, then we should not be funding this company anymore. The only thing these people understand is when you take your dollars away. And so we need to take them away. And never give them back. You know, just recently, within the last week, they've announced that they plan to have Ron DeSantis here. Just today, they announced that they plan to have that orange asshole Donald Trump here. And their reception that they say on the website is to be determined. They plan on doing that at the Philadelphia Museum of Revolution Museum. Yeah, that's their plan. Somehow or another, now they're trying to connect their movement to the movement that created this country. And I guess in a way that fits, right? Because at the end of the day, what it was a bunch of rich white males who decided they wasn't going to pay taxes to England anymore, or whatever country they came from. And so they started their own country to make sure they don't pay taxes here, right? And to make sure that they can bleed us dry at the same time. And to use stupid things like the debt ceiling and Medicaid and Medicare and people having housing or people having food nutrition as wedge issues to keep everybody at their back, at their throats. And the worst part about it is the people who are actually falling for it are the ones who need it the worst, right? Poor white Republicans in the suburbs all around this country buy the nonsense that these people are selling because as long as the other people don't have it, as long as people don't look like me aren't getting these things, I'll do without for that. And that is not the way we should be. But they believe that that message is gonna make us flourish, right? And somehow or another, these people have not caught on to the fact that regardless of how many Republicans you put in office, your life never materially gets better.
Right.
Never.
Right.
You see, Democrats, we've caught on to the fact that most of our representatives are just corporate lackeys, right? And we figured out that we need to get them going. But there's so much money in politics that they are literally making sure that we can't, and then talking shit to us at the end of the day. Because I don't know who paid attention to the elections here in the city, but after the dinosaur Democrats, the old ones who's been in office and been fucking up for the last 30 or 40 years, made sure that no progressive candidate was elected, they didn't put out a press release that said, yeah, we did that. Y'all think we don't know? Y'all think we don't know what you was organizing? It's not your time. Sit down, kids, shut up. You know, that was their response to us. But they had to. Because we are at an inflection point in this city and this country where if we get the right message out there and we mobilize the right people, we can shut all this shit down in a way that they can't stop. We can do the things that will materially improve our lives and stop boosting up these people who don't need any help. The top 1% got so much damn money there, 4 or 5 generations down the line can't spend all of it. If nobody ever works another day. They don't need more money. But we struggle for everything. And in that struggle, that we gotta have people like Moms for Liberty come in our face and tell us that our existence isn't validated because it doesn't follow whatever nonsense that they believe. And they wanna call us the hateful ones. They want to say that we're trying to erase their culture, right? No LGBT person has ever tried to erase the heterosexual culture. That's not what we want. That's never been what we want. All we want is equality and equity for everybody. Like, live your life. Do you. We don't care. What we want is for you to leave us the fuck alone.
Yeah.
Right? You want to have your little hate sessions? Fine, do it in your space. Don't come to our space and try to breed that hate because Philly ain't having it. And come the 29th of June, we're going to make sure that Moms for Liberty understands that we don't want them here. We got, what's today, the 2nd? So we got 27 days. We're going to try to do something in this space or at the Revolutionary Museum. Every week between now and then, we're going to try to pull off something. Just so that they get the message, right? Because we got to stand in solidarity with our siblings at that museum who are pitching a fit with management because they don't want that reception there. They've had people quit already because they refuse to host them. And these people probably cannot afford to leave their job. But some people just can't bend that knee and take that abuse. I know I wouldn't. I'm not going to. And I wouldn't expect anybody else to. But then we do also understand that people sometimes just have to do what they have to do. Because in this economy, the way that they have it set up, we have to. If you don't have the skills necessary or the capital to do it, you're stuck, right? And we can't get mad at them because they're stuck. Because they're still voicing their opinion. And they're still not happy about it. We are in talks with employees at that museum. So I'm telling you personally that they are pissed the fuck off about Moms for Liberty being there. And we told them that we would try to come out there and have a protest and a rally in solidarity for them. And they were all for it. So and this needs to be like our recurring thing. Where they try to divide us, we gonna come together.
Yes.
And we gonna do it in a way that they don't expect. Yeah, there's gonna be some anger. Yeah, we gonna be pissed off. But this is still Philly Gay Pride Month. And goddamn it, we gonna be proud, we gonna be loud, and we gonna be happy about it at the same time. There's no reason why we can't stand up in anger and still celebrate in joy. All right, so we got Moses Santana, who is a third-party candidate running for city council in the 7th district. And for people who don't know, that's Kensington, Fair Hills, Juniana, that whole area, right? And out of all of our people who's running for anything, all of our people who are trying to hold any elected office, this is the only one that we've had come out
They showed up.
and show up. So we need to remember that in November and do everything we can to help this man get into office, because that means that we will have at least one voice on that city council. Moses Santana.
All right, so again, my name is Moses Santana. You guys can call me Mo. I'm running for the 7th district as an independent candidate. This cycle, a little bit about me. I'm a father of 6. 3 of my 6 kids are part of the LGBTQ community. And just like you, I have skin in the game. My children are in danger. My children are in danger of people who are calling themselves, what they call monsters of liberty? Moms of liberty? Oh, okay, I thought it was monsters of liberty. But we'll stick with monsters of liberty. Women that have, that come from the daughters of the Confederacy. This is just another name for that. Trying to whitewash the history that happened in this country, the true history in this country, the oppression of people who were gay, lesbian, who were trans in the past, and who gave their lives because of bigotry. I don't know if they know like the history of the U.S. Army. I was in the service for 13 years, but can you hear me now? I apologize for that. So I don't know if they know the history of the Army. I'm going to assume they're going to ban the history of the United States Army, being that the person who taught the Army to be disciplined was a gay man. His name was Baron von Steuben. He came from the Prussian Army. Okay? So they understand that history, and they're trying to hide that history. It's something that we need to show them. And everybody needs to know that. There have been people from the LGBT community helping this country from its inception. And they're not getting rid of any of us. And just so you guys know, I'm here to fight for you. Whatever you guys need, just let me know. I got y'all back. Thank you.
Yeah, so that's going to be the theme with anybody who comes up here and grabs this mic today. It's going to be education. We're going to have something insightful that you probably didn't know, either about Moms for Liberty or the people who fund them. And while we're talking about hate, let's remember that the U.S. has gotten so good at hate that we are now exporting it as a commodity, as you can see in a law that was just passed in Uganda over the last week. Now in Uganda, if you are convicted of aggravated homosexuality, which nobody even knows what that is, right? You could spend your life in jail or be executed. And the thing that people don't, like, everybody's mad at Uganda about this, right? But understand that the same people who pushed those laws that happened in Uganda worked at it for 10 years to get it done. And they're the same ones who are funding Mom for Liberty. It's the same fucking organizations. It's the same people. They're taking what they learned here and are successful with here, and they're exporting this out to other countries. So this ain't just about us. This pride, we need to stand in solidarity with everybody, including our Ugandan siblings who now face life in prison just for being themselves. amazing when you start looking, like, when we found out Moms for Liberty was coming, I'm like, shit, I gotta do research, right? Because you can't talk about people if you don't know about people. And Moms for Liberty has done some really fucked shit right here in Pennsylvania. Everybody knows where Bucks County is, right? Guess who took over this school board? That's right, they sure did.
Planned Parenthood.
And guess what the first thing they did? They banned any book that had anything to do with LGBTQ people, and they're pushing to get every book that they can that teaches the real black history of this country removed from the libraries also. Because they're not content with just trying to erase us. They also want to whitewash history at the same time, so that the generations that's coming after us don't learn the fucked up shit that they did. And they're doing that for the simple reason that they know that Zoomers, Generation Z, is wholly more progressive than any generation before y'all. They're pushing to raise the voting age to 21 because they know a lot of y'all is getting ready to hit 18 by the time it's time to vote. This here is my youngest child. He turns 18 in January. He graduates high school tomorrow. And unfortunately for them, he has spent the last 7 years being educated about how fucked up our system is. So where they can lie and confuse most little ones, that one ain't gonna get it. As a matter of fact, this one is gonna help lead his generation into the light. So with no further delay, Noble Henderson.
Hey, can everybody hear me? You can all hear me? Great. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest, I ain't public speaked in a long time, but I'm gonna see what I can do. Okay, so I'm gonna start by saying one thing that the hateful mothers might not know is that a lot of the youth are aware of them yet. A lot of my peers are not aware yet. So it's not like I know they're probably gonna watch this and be like, oh, this crowd is small, or this, that, or the third. No, because like I've been talking to my friends, and my friends been talking to their friends, and we gon' pop out. We gon' pop out. We do not want no homophobic Nazis in this fucking city. It will not happen. It will not happen. And if they do come here, they will not be here peacefully. They will not be here peacefully. They talk about how they believe in liberty. Well, as a young person in this country, I've watched, or not really watched, but I know about the generation that came before me that fought, so we have just a little bit of liberty. My ancestors was beaten for being black, or beaten for being gay, or beaten for being trans, and fuck that, we not doing that. We not doing that. And I just want to end what I got to say by saying that I was never like, I know they want book bans. In school, we never really talked about being gay. I grew up in the South. Before I came to Philly, I was in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. That's so conservative. I was not taught about what being gay was. I was not allowed to even think about being gay. Well, guess what? I'm still fucking gay. So, thank you.
Thank you, thank you. See, when we let our kids exercise their voice, we find out that they got a lot to say. Granted, sometimes we don't want to hear it, but I mean, it's a double-edged sword, right?
Be with them.
But that's right. Our ancestors made it so that we could be here. Marsha P. Johnson.
Hello.
Stonewall. That was the beginning of it. That's the reason for pride, right? So when they say that trans people haven't made a contribution to this society, remember, if it wasn't for trans people, there would be no civil rights movement. Period. Period. If I remember correctly, Stonewall kicked off in 1962. I said, if I remember correctly. I did put that at the beginning. But either way it goes, you got the civil rights movement happening, you got Stonewall happening, like you got the women's movement happening. All this stuff was going on at the same time because people were fed up. And we're now at another time in life when people are fed up. 2020, they were supposed to get the message, right?
They locked us
When
away.
they killed George Floyd and then Walter Wallace and then Walter Scott and everybody that they've killed since then, they continue to tell us, no, you need more cops, right? They somehow or another try to convince us that more cops on the street is our solution, that more money into the military is our solution. But they don't put more money into making sure people have a place to live. They don't put more money into making sure that people can get the mental health treatment that they need.
Mental health training for the police.
No, police should not be responding to mental health incidents, period. Period. That should be somebody who's trained to handle that. Period. If it gets to the point where there's a gun or there's something violent happening, then maybe we have them respond, but with a fucking taser, not a gun. Not a gun. Especially not if you're responding to a person of color. Because we already know that with us, they will shoot first and never ask questions. They will shoot, kill, and then come up with a story for how this person was so bad that that's why they deserve what they deserve.
So they can take a mass shooter into custody.
But they take a mass shooter into custody. You know, when those riots kicked off, I was on YouTube like all the time watching all these videos of black men getting shot in the back while they're laying down with their hands up, sleeping in their bed. Like, at this point, you can be a black man and that's just reason for them to shoot you. What you doing don't even matter, right? But at the same time, I'm seeing videos popping up of white people who are taking cops' guns, beating them with their own damn batons, getting in their cars and driving away, and they don't do shit. Right? They don't do nothing. So we know that they know how to exercise the restraint, but because of the systemic racism of our system, they don't feel like they need to because they still don't see people with melanin in their skin as whole people. And I've been screaming this from day one of me actually getting a microphone in my hand. And that's until we rewrite that Constitution so that black people are a whole people and not 3/5, they'll never see us that way. I don't care how many amendments you add. I don't care what that language says. As long as that original language says 3/5 of a person, that's how they're going to treat us. That's how they've always treated us. And if we expect any different, then we're holding our heads in the sand.
They're taking that from us. They don't teach cursive in school anymore, and the Constitution is written in cursive.
They don't teach shit in school anymore. You're lucky if you learn what 1 + 1 is. School now, as opposed to when I went to school, and I know I'm dating myself here, it's like I started school in the 80s. So much different. So much different. Like I was looking at, when he got up here, he came up here from South Carolina. And amazingly enough, Republican schools are so much further ahead than any Democratic schools. As crazy as that is to sound, they learn so much more. They have access to more technology. Like they keep those kids so that they can perform in society today. Then they come up here. And I went to mostly white schools growing up. There was some, you know, my parents moved around, so I saw a little bit of everything. But back then, it was kind of equal. Like now, like in his old school, he had his own iPad. His own iPad to use. He come up here, he's like, Jazz, they got this desktop in there that don't even work. He's like, I think it runs on dial-up. And I'm like, what? Who the hell uses dial-up in 2020? Like, actually it was like 2016, but still. Like these are, so when you hear stuff like this coming from your kid, like, it helps you to realize that the things that you already thought was true is really true. Like, Philly kids struggle so bad because they don't have shit, right? They don't give them anything to do. They are closing rec centers left and right in black neighborhoods. And if they're not closed, it's because you got a football team or some rich star who decided that they was gonna donate money to keep that place open. But when you go to white neighborhoods, and I'm sorry if this offends my white allies standing out here, but it is what it is, and I'm always gonna tell the truth. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. But you go to the white areas, and all of a sudden there's no trash on the street. You don't have a damn Chinese store and a liquor store in every other corner. Like, the whole vibe is different. It's different. Kids got playgrounds they can go play in, they got pools they can go swim in. They got so much stuff to do that you don't see kids just out on the street. But then you come back to the hood and that's all you see because those kids don't have anything to do. And they talk shit about the parents, right? They're like, oh, they're a turnkey kid, or their parent works too much, or their parent this, or their parent that. When you only get paid $7, $8, $9, $10 an hour in an economy where you should be making at least 20, you don't have a choice but to be at work, right? You don't have a choice but to pull 2 jobs and hope that your kid don't get themselves in trouble. You know, I got blessed enough to where I had friends and resources that made it so that I could be active in my children's lives while being a single parent, while working as much as I could, and we still did not struggle that badly. But don't get it twisted, we ain't rich either. I might look like I got money, but believe me, I'm fucking broke. It's just a look. But I'm sure y'all don't want to hear me keep running my mouth right now, so I'm gonna bring the remember that wise man I was telling you about before? Well, he already come to the mic. He's the executive director of Delay.
Thank you, Jasmine. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. We got a reason to celebrate. We do. We have a reason to celebrate because what they want us to do is tell the stories about how we're struggling and keep on telling ourselves those stories so we can bury ourselves. We're not going to do that. They don't want us to tell the story about the victories that we have every single day. The reason why they come for us, the reason why they came to Philadelphia is because they know that we're winning. They know every day we wake up and we stand up, we get out of our beds, we step out as our true authentic selves, and we step out to the street, we go to work, go to school, or wherever we need to go in this world. And wherever we need to go in Philadelphia, they know we're winning. Because we're not going back to a place where we can't express ourselves the way that we deserve to express ourselves. And let me be clear about something too. This isn't just about, they want us to play chess while they're playing checkers, right? This isn't just about the Marriott. Because fuck what they doing, right? Fuck what they're doing. But this is about the chess that they're playing. Behind closed doors, getting onto school boards, banning books, banning curriculums, and getting into institutionalized positions in our government. This is their undercover push where they don't have to put money and pull money from corporations. But make no mistake about it, this is not just a group of random moms that pulled money together and bought some flights to come to Philadelphia. Somebody's behind this shit, right? Somebody's behind this shit. And we're in front of this shit. We're in front of this shit. We're not moving. And I'm gonna say this about the Marriott. Fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck that bullshit ass excuse that they gave to us about why they need to accept and why they can't amend and cancel shit. They can cancel shit wherever they want to. I had a flight, let's be clear, I had a flight canceled the other day. I had a hotel reservation canceled 6 months ago and I already put that shit on hold. You can cancel shit when you want to cancel shit. It's about your moral compass. The complete and utter disregard for black and brown queer and trans people in this city, it's not just seen by the Marriott. This is just but an inkling of what we see in institutionalized positions in this city. This is our government turning a blind eye, or both sides in conversations about what we need and deserve in this community. We're talking about housing and shit like that. We're talking about a whole nation that's starving. We're talking about a whole world that's going without over and over and over and over again. And we've been shouting and marching for the last however many years, for decade after decade after decade, and they acting like they don't hear us. They hear us. They heard us. They're ignoring us. They're ignoring us. Now is the time to boycott things like this. Don't get no room at the Marriott. Hate doesn't live here, it doesn't deserve a place here, and we're not making space for it here anymore, whether or not that's for a $300 room and this fucked up, cheap-ass fucking hotel here, or whether or not that's a seat in City Hall, or whether or not that's the mayor's office, because fuck stop and frisk. Fuck that shit, and you can say whatever you want to say. You can reword it, twist the words, or whatever you want. Have any of you ever been arrested for walking while black? Have any of you been ever arrested for walking while black? I have 5 times. All 5 times, let me be clear. All 5 times I was a preschool teacher, coming home from work, accused of drinking on the train with a cardigan on and a bow tie. I had a gun pointed at me by a police officer who told me to get down at 13th Street Station. Get down, don't move, under the suspicion that I was drinking out of a paper bag. The only thing that saved me was somebody with their cell phone that said, he got on at 69th Street. They always get on there. That's it, what are you talking about? That's the only thing that saved me. And yet still, they couldn't tuck their fucking tails and say, we're sorry. We're sorry, mistaken identity. They still suspended me from the 13th Street platform for 48 hours or some dumb shit like that. The other time, I had my key in my door. Literally in my house, my door. Had my key in the door. My roommates about 20 feet away. They shined a light on my apartment. You would have thought I was a burglar in one of those striped costumes back in the cartoon days. They had this light shined on me, and they sat there and deliberated with each other. I heard them, with my hands behind my back and my face to the brick wall. I heard them say, what do we take them in for? They tried to figure out what they were going to take me in for. And guess what my court date was? Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve. Spent the whole weekend in jail, and I was promoted at work that day. So the day that I was promoted, I had to call my boss and tell them that I couldn't come into work the next day because I was in jail. When I tell you this system is fucked up, and it's deliberately fucked up, because they want to keep people afraid and oppressed. They don't want us to stand up. They don't want us to congregate. We got people staring at us right now like, I can't wait till they move. I can't wait till they separate. Well, listen, we're going to separate. We're going to come back together again and again and again and over again. Because that's how we keep our community strong. All 5 fingers on one hand, and one finger, those 5 fingers come together and it makes a fist. We're going to come back again and again and again and again. And while we're doing that, everybody, like I said before, let's not lose sight of the chess. Because they want us to waste our energy coming here and shouting about some bullshit that they're going to keep on doing because they don't have any moral compass. What we do need to do, and we need to be cognizant of 365 days of the year, is how these pieces are moving behind the scenes. Make sure that you're keeping your elected officials and holding them accountable. Make sure that they show up at shit like this, or they write a statement for shit like this, especially when it's in their district. Especially when it's in their city. You say hate don't live here, everybody got a sign in their window or a bumper sticker. Black trans lives matter, wonderful. It's a nice little cardboard piece to keep us from throwing a brick through your window during the protest, right? But what we need to make sure people are doing is not ignoring shit like this, because you don't have to come out here, but what you damn well better do, is not disrespect the lives, the agency, and the fight for liberty for black and trans people in this damn city. You better not disrespect that. You need to make sure sure that you are stepping out, even if that means telling your boss that that water cooler conversation where you're disrespecting somebody's gender identity is not cool, not accepted, and you will get fired. Yes. We need to make sure that we're telling our police officers, wherever they are, that if you disrespect, you will get fired. You don't get another chance. I don't get to be in my job, and none of us have that luxury. You can't be at 7-Eleven cussing and they will fire you if you are disrespectful to a customer, to someone that you are being paid to serve, and they are getting paid to protect and serve. Those are our tax dollars. They come out of our paychecks. They come out of your student loan money. They come out of every single dime that we put out and that we generate. And let's be clear about queer and trans people in this city. We are the most vibrant, colorful, talented, ingenious group of people in the city, because every single day we have to overcome. We have to overcome the shit that we've climbed just to get out the door, the trauma we have to organize through just to come the fuck here for this shit. We gotta organize through trauma to come to this shit. We organize through trauma every single day, and it's beyond time, it's past time that institutions like this right here, like the Marriott, hear our cries, hear our shout, listen up, and go like, you know what, we got you. So we don't have to show up fighting, wasting energy, screaming and hollering, our mouth all dry and shit, just to get them to hear us, and them just do the shit that they want to do any old damn way. It's not acceptable anymore. It's not acceptable anymore. Jasmine, you looking at me, you want to take the mic back from my mouth?
It's open, it's open, it's open.
I've been saying
It's open, it's open, it's open.
Philly is a trans city, and somebody said to me the other day, Philly is a trans city, and I mean this shit when I say it. One of the reasons why it is, and why we need to keep it that way, why we need to stand and keep it that way, is because there are people around the globe struggling with their feet to the fire more than ours are. When we were talking about the bill in Uganda, it's not just criminalizing trans people, it's criminalizing the families that affirm them too. They will be jailed. They will be put for life in prison as well. This is about not just attacking our individuals, it's our networks. It's whoever they can get their grubby little hands on, but make no mistake, at the same time, they're still extracting those dollars. They make sure to put us into some more slave labor inside of a prison while they can still extract money from us and extract our joy, extract our gifts, extract all the things that we bring to this world. And when I say we bring it to Philadelphia, we bring this shit. We bring this shit. Every block, every time you go out here, any neighborhood, we're the ones that's painting murals. We're the ones that's starting the community gardens. We're the ones that's doing that shit. We're the ones that's creating street festivals. We're the ones that are going to people and making sure they get those linkages to care because they are desperate and dying and in the street. Homelessness is no joke. 5 years ago, I was homeless, laying on the street, sleeping outside, couch surfing, because that doesn't even speak to the amount of people that are queer and trans in the city, that are couch surfing, that are houseless. And they sit there and ignore that that resource needs to be something that we fucking deserve. We deserve it. Housing is a human fucking right. And it's not a cliche. We say that shit, but it's not a cliche. It's a fucking right. It's a right. And every time we say it, the more people we get to say it, the more we get to demand it. So don't fall asleep when it's time to go vote and shit like that. I know some people don't participate in that system because it's fucked up, but it's what we got. It's what we got. We gotta put people in there that listen to us at the very fucking least to some degree, because the people that are going in there right now, the person that we just put in there right now, don't got our ear. She don't care what we putting down and what we saying. And it's one of them things where more and more they are blackwashing. They are blackwashing imperialism. They are blackwashing these things by saying like, look, we'll give you a little bit of cynical representation.
But she gonna do what we say.
But she ain't gonna do nothing what we say. Because if she would have did, she would have dropped out when I asked her 2 months ago. You're unqualified and disqualified from running for office if you think that stop and frisk is a practice that you need to be injecting back into the city. You are unqualified. And I said that at the Liberty City Democratic meeting on the endorsement committee. And I said it there, and I mean it, and I stand on that. You cannot run. You are disqualified from running for any office if you think the liberty and the freedom of black and brown, queer and trans people in this city or anywhere across the state, around the country, around the globe. If you think that our rights aren't equal to the other people that you have out here, to your families, these people got children. I was a preschool teacher for 12 fucking years. The first person that came out to me as non-binary was a 5-year-old boy. 5-year-old boy. That woke me up. I said, oh, I'm non-binary. I knew that. I knew it before then. But the fact that a 5-year-old had the courage to say that to me gave me the courage to say it to myself, say it to my family, friends, and to the rest of the community. And that was in preschool. That was before they could even say that they were going to take away a book. I ran a radical classroom. I had books from all over teaching the real history behind Christopher Columbus. I taught them how to protest. We brought banners and marched down Broad Street together, all 4 and 5-year-olds. World Kindness Day, though. World Kindness Day, right? But we went out and I taught them how to stand up for what they believe in and who they are truly and authentically. And that's the kind of teaching, that's the kind of education that we need to make sure that we're creating dreamers in this world that really know that there's a distant horizon that we're reaching towards, but we're marching every day towards it. And that they deserve the gifts on the other side of that horizon. They deserve it. They deserve it. And any act by any elected official, any agency push, because they're not a grassroots organization. They're a bunch of bullshitters. They're, what do they call them, Planned Parenthood? They're a bunch of bullshitters that are out here trying to take resources away from our families, resources away from our children. They make it seem like it's just books. But they're taking computers away, them iPads and stuff that we're trying to fight for. They're trying to privatize our schools, turn them all into charters so they can divest of them even more. And then corporations can control the curriculums and things like that. No, we need to fund our public schools. We need to dump more funding into them. We have a generation to save because too many generations have been lost. We have to stand up right now, more than just speaking, more than just marching, more than just protesting. We got to get ready for the real fight, for the real chess game. So get ready to stand up with me, folks. 365 days a year, let's go.
Philly is a trans city. Philly is a trans city. Okay, time for a little more education. So, we will hear all kinds of things from Moms for Liberty leading up to this summit. They're gonna say, oh, they're exaggerating. We're not racist. Actually, our newest member is a black woman from Philly. A black woman from Philly. One. There are hundreds of thousands of black women in Philly, and you managed to get one. They're gonna say, oh, we have a Latinx woman on it who's part of our organization too. One. There are millions around this country, and you managed to get one. They're gonna say, we've got 100,000 members. That's bullshit. It has been revealed that Moms for Liberty counts any website hit as a member. Yep, read it in the article by the New York Times. In actuality, they have about 1,100 people nationwide. There's over 300 million people in this fucking country. You can only get 11,000 to join your crew? Hey, 1,100 out of 300 some million?
And they getting shit banned.
Do your thing, boo. But you should not have the ability to take over school boards. You should not have the ability to get books removed from libraries that have been in libraries since they were written. You should not have the ability to do things like cause a major corporation like Target to take down certain parts of their pride displays just because it offends you. Fuck you, stay home. You don't have to go shop at Target. You don't have to pay attention to the pride stuff. But that does not give you the right to enforce your Christian nationalist beliefs on the rest of us, on the rest of this country. That does not give you the right to bring that piece of shit, Ronald DeSantis, and that orange asshole, Donald Trump, to our city. Keep them to fucking Florida where they live. Don't bring them assholes here. Because they're gonna get the same welcome that you're gonna get. And you're not gonna like it. We're just building up to it. And I believe the first time we were here, we said we would be back. And we would be louder. And there would be more of us. And I think we kept every one of those promises. And the next time we come back, we will be louder. There will be more of us. And there's nothing that you can fucking do about it. You want to bring those hateful ass bitches to this city? We're gonna welcome them the same way we welcomed the Turks here twice last year. Anti-trans beliefs are not welcome here. Your racist beliefs are not welcome here. And to the owners and the decision makers of Marriott, if you don't like it, leave. There are plenty of things this city could use this space for, is that you probably don't pay all that much money any fucking way. Leave. We don't need you. You do nothing for us. We don't need this Marriott here. Those people that's in there can be employed providing housing for all the thousands of homeless people that's in this city. This would be a beautiful building for them, wouldn't it? Nice and centrally located by all the transportation. People can actually get their shit done instead of shipping homeless people out to the outskirts of the fucking city. Like, that's useful to anybody. When I came to this city, I was homeless. I spent 15 months in a shelter not far from here. And it's only because I was able to find a shelter in this part of the city that I was able to do the stuff that I needed to do for myself in order to end that homelessness, in order to make sure that I was healthy, in order for me to find the identity and a love for myself that I have today. And these hateful bitches will not destroy that. So, more education for you. I'll go off on a little rants and then I'll tell you more about what these dumbasses do. So, I was watching this video not too long ago of one of the moms from Moms for Liberty, like that's how she identified herself, talking to one of the Florida state legislators. And she was saying something about how she wouldn't know what she would do if she had a trans child, right? And so the legislator said, well, you want your child to live, right? And she said, no. Huh? You're a parent? And she literally said she would rather have a dead child than a trans child. Hold on. Here's why this is relevant. These are the same people who claim that they're pro-life. Right? These are the same people who backed the Supreme Court taking away a woman's right to her body. because they were pro-life. They're not pro-life. They've never been pro-life. They are pro-forced birth. That's it. Because once you're born, they don't want you to access the system to take care of that child. They don't want you to access the system to take care of yourself so you can take care of that child. They don't want to do anything to help you or that child. But they want us to hear them, right? They want, and here's the really fucked up thing about this. These people claim to be Christian nationalists. Now I'm Jewish, so I don't buy into Christianity anyway. But if you read the Bible says several important things about how Christians should actually treat people. You know, there's the one line that Jesus says, what you do unto me, what you do unto the least of these, you do unto me. Right? And so that means that if you're leaving a broke person to be homeless, to starve to death, to not have medication so that they can live a good life, you're doing that to the person that you claim is your savior. To the person that's going to help you get into whatever heaven there is, if that's what you believe. Right? And then you think when you die and it's time for you to be judged, they're going to be like, oh yeah, I saw you spray water on that homeless woman. Come on in. That's not how that works. I mean, common sense tells you what's moral and what's not. And morality is simple. It's real easy. It's this thing called right and wrong. We don't always have to understand it. We don't always have to believe it. There are plenty of people who do plenty of things, who say plenty of things on a daily basis that I don't get. But they have the right to say that. Right? And like, just because let's take Moms for Liberty, for instance. They literally hate my existence on many different levels. I'm a black, trans, Jewish woman. They hate me. Every part of my identity is something that they are either trying to whitewash away or they just don't want to see. But that wouldn't give me the right, should they show up here, to bomb this fucking hotel. Right? That's not moral. That's not right. Because there's people who's in there that ain't got nothing to do with them hateful ass bitches. First of all. And secondly, like, me meeting your ugliness with more ugliness, it's gonna make us both ugly. And I'm a cute bitch. I'm not gonna be ugly for them. So, like, the moral thing to do there is to do what we're doing. We stand up here, we express just how fucked up these people are and how they don't even live by the rules that they set forward. And then we just keep doing it. And we keep building power, especially this month. Like, of all the months that you could choose to come to Philadelphia, that you could choose to have this thing, you chose to come to one of the gayest cities in the country during the month when we're celebrating who the fuck we are. And you thought that was a good idea. That shows you the mentality of these people, right? That you're gonna come to a city that you ain't got nothing to do with and try to tell us what we can do in our city. And those of us who know, we have a saying for those people. It's called white privilege, right? It's called, you think that your skin color makes you superior to me, and therefore your judgments make you better than me. And if that's what you want to believe, fine. But I can almost guarantee that I'm smarter than that whole group of people put together. I'm just not as well funded. The little ones got something else to say.
Okay, so I'm gonna take it a little bit slower than I did last time. I want to do something a little bit more interactive, right? So they call themselves Moms for Liberty. I come from a generation where we got a nice good thing called Google, so I just want to Google what liberty means, because I believe they're what's the word? I believe they're hypocrites. Thank you, whoever said that. Amen. Yeah. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna search this up. Let's see what Google gotta say. Ignore my typo. If you see this, you probably don't. Liberty means the quality or state of being free, the power to do so as one pleases, freedom from physical restraint, freedom from arbitrary and despotic control. Okay? Y'all heard that. That's a dictionary definition of liberty. Now, here's what they think liberty is. Okay? Here's what they think liberty is. Liberty is when a cisgender, white Christian individual can do what they want. Now, okay, I want anybody who may be in that demographic to raise your hand. No offense, I love you for being here in solidarity, but I know it's not a lot of us, so I just like a representation. Raise your hand if you're a cisgender, heterosexual Christian. Clearly there ain't a lot of y'all, no offense. Appreciate y'all for being here in solidarity, but that shows that they really don't believe in liberty, because if I remember correctly, let me go back over that meaning. It says the quality or state of being free, the power to do as one pleases, not specific people, to do as one pleases, as yourself, as you want to do. Freedom from physical restraint, which, as we know, they have Nazi history ties. We all know the Nazis don't believe in that, freedom from physical restraint. They don't believe in that, right? Freedom of arbitrary and deposit control. It sounded like it gave out. But no, right? They clearly don't believe in that neither. So I just wanted to really put that into perspective, that they don't believe in the one thing that they say they believe in. Moms for Liberty does not believe in liberty. Because if they believed in liberty, then anybody could be anything they wanted to. If I wanted to say I identify as Reading Terminal Market, I should be the fuck able to. Okay? If I identify as 7-Eleven, I should be able to. Because that's what the fuck I want to do. And at the end of the day, like, shit, I forgot who said it. Somebody said it. You don't gotta accept me. You don't gotta. Prentice? All right. Props for Prentice. But no, you don't gotta respect me. You don't have to accept me, but you need to respect me. And I really love that. So I don't know if everybody can just repeat that with me. You don't have to accept me.
You don't have to accept me. You have to respect me.
You have to respect me.
You have to respect me.
Okay, thank y'all. That's what I have.
You're gonna be fired.
Man, see what happens when you let them speak, right? They want moms for liberty. Their favorite thing to say is, "Oh, we're protecting the children. Think about the children." Well, you just had a child tell you to shut the fuck up. And if we had some more here, they would tell you the same damn thing.
Baby.
What the children don't want is to be groomed and indoctrinated into Christian nationalism.
The way they say we.
They claim that we're the groomers. They claim that we're indoctrinating people, when all we want you to do is leave us alone. That's not even an indoctrination agenda. Nobody who's ever tried to indoctrinate somebody said, "Leave me alone. Just let me live." Like, I don't want you to tell me what to do. That's the exact opposite of indoctrination, right? They want to tell us what we can do, what we can wear, what we can say, how we can look, where we can exist, and then don't be black and come across Planned Parenthood, because then they want us to show them freedom papers that show that we're allowed to be wherever they come across us. Slavery's over. We no longer answer to you, bitch. We're not going back. You'll enslave me over my dead body. I promise you that. There is no alternative. We are here. We are going to remain. We will not step back into any closet. We are proud of who we are. if that offends you, we don't care. We're not asking for your approval. We're not asking for your acceptance. We're demanding your respect. And we're telling you that we will be liberated or we will die fighting for it. Just like every other movement has ever been, this one will not stop. It will not end. And it will get to the point where these Karens will get run out of every city across this country until they go back into the little hole that they crawled out of. You know, it's no coincidence that we get the whitest white guy who also happens to be orange as a president. And then all of a sudden, all the racists want to crawl out the woodwork, right? It's no coincidence that we had somebody in the White House who actually called African nations shithole countries, got away with it. As a matter of fact, had the media running and covering for him, faced no repercussions, and now all of a sudden we have groups that are appearing and doing the same things to us here, right? This isn't a coincidence. This was an organized, plotted thing. They want us to believe that January 6th was not an attempt for white supremacy to overthrow our government, but that's exactly what it was. And read the writing on the wall, because they plan to do it again in 2024 when they lose. And they will lose. Well, hopefully they'll lose. If Biden keeps making stupid ass moves, and the Democrats, there's a good chance they won't. But I mean, that's another story. That's a whole nother session. Like, we ain't doing that right now. Yo, we got another Jasmine. Welcome her to the stage.
Thank you, Miss Jasmine. I want all the sexy people, all the people to say ow. Say ow. 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 I come to you from Los Angeles, California. We had our drag march. We had the first national drag march in Los Angeles. We took to the street. And I had the privilege and the honor to share a piece that I wrote, and I just got the permission to do it here again. Do you mind if I share it? It reads, drag queen, we cannot unsee what has already been seen. We cannot unknow what we know, and we will not stop dancing and lip syncing to our favorite songs. Drag queen, I was invited here today to speak truth to your power. You are necessary, beautiful, inspiring, and adored. I am advocating today for the respect and appreciation that the art of illusion so rightfully deserves. Desiring radical change and curiosity in the hearts and minds of folks who don't believe in drag queen magic. I came here to remind you to stay committed to your practice of non-judgment, compassion, service, authenticity, and kindness with the intention of blessing the world through your loving demonstration. This was told to me by the inspired spiritual queer community. Drag queen, rejoice in knowing that every time and everywhere you show up, you bring a sense of humor, wonder, and excitement. You remind us all of how important it is to be like a child at play. Drag queen, you are the true representation of all that's holy and good in this world. Love is a religion, so let your performance be your ministry. Your lip sync be the anointing, and stay baptized and fully immersed in all the glitter, rhinestones, and feathers you can glue onto your costumes. Drag queen, drag is good medicine. Allow it to heal and comfort you. Remain committed to the evolution of your transformation, because more will be revealed. Drag queen, you are a spiritual being showcasing human experiences through your artistry. It takes courage to be the light in the rainbow, illuminating, reflecting, and beaming every part of your soul. drag queen. Mother, what is this? The Liberty Mother, what is this called? What's it called? Moms for Liberty will never kill a queen's dream. Your existence is life-affirming, multi-fascinating, and imaginatively beautiful. Listen, I did not choose glamour. Glamour chose me. Okay? And like the diva of the day, Marlene Dietrich once said, glamour is what I sell. It is my stock in trade. My magnificent drag queens, sustain your resistance. Course correct, reclaim your innocence, disrupt the corrupt. Break the spell, start your own small donation-based business and get paid. Also remember, you can never fully be actualized until you afford the same opportunities you've been given to someone else. So let's do a countdown. You ready? We're gonna start at 10. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're on, baby. It's showtime. Thanks for being here tonight.
Yeah. So, I think we've got our point across. I think they've realized just what, well, no they don't. But they will learn what they're in for. So, this is how cocky we're feeling, right? And I'm gonna wrap up with this. Oh, that's right. Dom. No, come on up here. I forgot I had one more person.
I can't rip as eloquently as these folks are, so I had to type mine at work and print it out at work. So, I think a lot of people in this country think that this is a new phenomenon, what's going on all over this country and what's being brought to our city in Philadelphia. But fascist onslaught against people like us, queer people, has been going on for decades. And when I say people like us, I don't just mean queer people, I mean black and brown, anti-capitalist, working class, sometimes explicitly communist, queer folks. That's who they've been attacking for decades. And they would utilize state-funded apparatuses to attack us. I have a story to tell you. There's an old queer communist from my party, the Communist Party, named Harry Hay. And he once recounted a time when the National Guard fired on striking maritime workers that he helped organize in San Francisco. You wanna know how many of them died? Really, none of them should have died. None of them should have got shot at, but 2 of them died instantly. And he remembers bullets flying over his head while these workers were striking. So this is not a new phenomenon at all. In fact, the father of the second Red Scare, who knows Joe McCarthy, that fucking bastard, he once said, if you want to be against McCarthy, you have to be either a communist or a cocksucker. That's what he said, that's his words. And that's a really revealing comment, right? It's a really revealing comment. Because he's admitting that the fight to liberate oppressed people has always been bound with the fight to liberate the working class. The fight for a socialist future. It's always been bound that way. And make no mistake, the struggle to liberate black and brown people is bound up in that fight as well. It's not at all a coincidence that the black-led Stonewall riots happened not long after the Red Scare ended. It's not a coincidence. Not a coincidence at all. So Senator Joe McCarthy's spirit lives on in companies like Marriott. Only now they're a little bit more covert with their queerphobia and a little bit more covert with their anti-blackness. Because Marriott has an entire section on their website that's dedicated to LGBTQ and black travel.
Shame.
But it's shameful, it's disgusting. Yet they invite openly fascist groups like Moms for fucking Liberty, Moms for whatever the fuck, to host a week-long summit in their establishment. These people, it's sick. These are liars. These are con artists. These are scammers. And they trick you into thinking that they're an inclusive company when evidence points to the contrary, right? Look what they're doing. And by the way, I heard that this Marriott specifically were a bunch of fucking union busters. A bunch of union busters. Marriott in general are a bunch of union busters, but this one specifically, they're union busters. It's crazy. Bunch of union busting scandals. So you know what I say? You cut a union buster and a fucking fascist, please. You cut a union buster and a fascist, please. And you see how all these struggles are interconnected? Union busters, queerphobes, transphobes, racists, they're all on the same team. All on the same team. They all fighting for the same exact fucking thing. But we have a team, all of us here, we have a fucking team that's way stronger than what the fuck they got going on there. It's way stronger. And our team is working class led by black, trans, queer, anti-capitalist, and anti-fascist. And there's nothing that these motherfuckers can do to stop us if we're struggling for our own liberation, if we're struggling for socialism, if we're struggling to liberate the working class. There's nothing they can do to stop us. Nothing they can do. So let's unite as often as we fucking can to make sure these motherfuckers know that fascism, queerphobia, transphobia, anti-blackness, anti-whatever the fuck they got going on ain't gonna be welcome in Philadelphia. And that's all I gotta say.
Thank you, Don. That's Don from YCL. All right, so I'm gonna start to close this out. My little man got something he want to leave y'all with.
Get him.
But what I want to say is, we want to do this at the museum, same time next week. We need to make sure that the museum understands that we stand with those workers against that hateful ass group. Right? We got workers protesting over there, walking out, quitting because they refuse to serve Moms for Liberty, and they need to know that we stand with them. So, we all got homework. And this is our homework. Tap a friend. Even if it's just one. Get a buddy to come out with you next week, 6 p.m., that museum. Let's show them the kind of power that we can build. Let's show them what it means to truly show up strong and for your community and to care about your kids. Not care about your kids if they do what you want them to do, but we care about our kids because that's who we are. So again, my name is Jasmine. You got folks here from YCL, from Philly Trans March, from the Philadelphia Children's Movement. You have people here from the libraries, and all of us are being threatened by Moms for Liberty. I'm with Act Up Philadelphia and the Black and Latinx Community Control. We had Yale show up. This is what it means to be for your community. This is what it means to show up. So let's show up next week and bring one person with us. And let's continue to show up. And when they get here, we need to shut this bitch down. We need to make sure that they can't leave this hotel the whole fucking time they're here. They want to know what it's like to have your liberty taken away. Let's show them. We need to take away their freedom of movement. Shut this whole fucking street down from the 29th to the 2nd. And I think we can build enough power to do it. And give them the clear message that your hate ain't wanted in this city. Make them have nightmares about ever coming back to Philadelphia. This might be the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection, but not for them bitches. And I'm gonna let my son finish it out.
So I want to finish it out by clearing the air on their bullshit about how like being surrounded by gayness and transness makes you gay and trans by proxy, right? So I touched on it a little bit at first, but I want to like really break it down a little bit. So like I said, I grew up in South Carolina, spent up until the age of 10, you know, that's supposedly the most formative years or whatever, and like grew up around conservatives, like real conservatives, like these type people we talking about, right? And I was living with my mom, who is like also conservative, but we teach her do better, you know, teach her the right steps. So like, look, she at this point, she's like, everybody can do what they do, right? Because at the end of the day, that's the right way to think. Everybody can be taught, but no, right? And so, but that's where I come from. And then I moved in with Jasmine, my lovely mother, wherever she went, and like this was before she transitioned, because she felt like she couldn't, in a world where being trans was so stigmatized, she felt like her kids wouldn't understand her, right? She felt like her kids wouldn't understand her. And this is like in the same time period, I'm trying to unlearn everything that I was taught about what we should accept and what we should be okay with. I still ain't know I was gay. Cause it wasn't a thought to me, because you know, that's just how it is. But at the end of the day, there's always gonna be that wake up moment, right? Like we all know how sex organs work. I don't gotta break it down. You know what you like. Everybody know what they like. Same thing with like in your mind. You know how you identify, right? Right? Like you're gonna know that regardless. And so, I guess what I'm trying to say is, I was for the first 10 years of my life no knowledge of like anything about being inclusive, right? And then like she didn't force nothing upon me. She waited till I was smart and like could understand, and she did her thing, and now like we this beautiful family. It is what it is, right? And like I'm at the point in my life where like I don't really feel like I conform with any gender, right? You ask me what my pronouns are, I say he, him, because that's what I look like. That's not what I feel like. I don't know what I feel like. I feel like a fucking person, right? I feel like I'm here, and I feel like y'all are here. And I feel like regardless of what's going on in your mind, we should all be able to coexist on this planet and like, because we got all these other problems we need to be worried about as a people, like global warming. And yet we still got to fight just to be able to sit at the table and talk about this shit. So I say that to say, there will always be gay people. There will always be trans people. Because even if they're not taught that they can be gay, or even if they're not taught that they can be trans, they're gonna know who they are. So it doesn't matter if it honestly don't matter what this outcome is, because at the end of the day the fight continues. Just like they gonna keep coming, we gonna keep coming. Right? Like Jasmine said, I'm 17, about to turn 18. I graduate tomorrow. My two brothers, my brother and my sister both have kids. I want to have kids, so once I'm ready, I will. And what my kid can be whoever the fuck they want to be, because that's what being a real parent is. Like, so there's a lot that I want to say. I'm trying to be short. Another point I wanted to make was that like I'm an ACT UP, right? And like those of you who are or may not be familiar, ACT UP is the AIDS Coalition Unleash Power, right? And my time at ACT UP has taught me a lot. And what it taught me is that I hear what Jasmine said about like you can tap one person. Tapping one person is cool. You don't want to just tap one person. You want to post on your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter, your Tumblr, your MySpace if you still use that, whatever the case may be. Fuck around, make an email chain. All the emails you got in your journal, send it to random emails. Like make people pop out. Because at the end of the day, I feel like we could get millions of people in that city to come out to the museum or to the one after that, whatever it may be. Because nobody, well, almost nobody, in the city likes fascists, transphobes, or homophobes. And we all gonna fight. Building a city of brotherly love and sisterly affection, but that don't mean it's all fun and games when you come try and fuck with us. At the end of the day, we mind our business till we don't have to. And I think this is a time where we all need to be all up in their business. So if y'all know or heard anybody from this group, do some digging. Come to the next joint at the museum with some pee. Let's bring some pee. Like, let's really air that shit out. Because at the end of the day, these some bad people. And we don't like bad people. Alright, I'm Noble. I'm gonna act up. I'll see y'all next week.
No more haters, y'all. Give it up one more time. This young man graduates tomorrow. And I couldn't be more proud of that child. So like he said, spread the message far and wide. 6 p.m. next Friday. The American Revolution Museum. It's right on the other side of Independence Park. Let's show up. Let's be loud, proud, and a lot of us.
And if people say they don't care, just tell them they're Nazis, because it's definitely the fucking truth. And everybody will pop out to turn up against some Nazis, because we don't want them people.
Y'all are beautiful people. Thank you all for coming out.